we had a beautiful garden. I mean, beautiful garden. You know, when you pass by those neighborhoods and you see someone with their garden and it's just lush and gorgeous, and the magnolias and the pansies and the tulips. It's a gorgeous garden. Yeah, that's the garden Mr. X and I had. It was glorious garden, lush, full of life. We were doing the work. We watered daily. We put jazz music in the background for the plants to grow and be happy. We had a marvelous garden, marvelous garden, marvelous garden. However, in our marvelous garden, we also had our neutral check-ins. That's what do I define a neutral check-in? A neutral check-in is a check-in in which you have information, you receive information about things that you like to change, but you cannot change. And you simply decide you're still going to move forward, but the thing that you need to change and cannot change is still there. It's still present. So sooner or later, this is going to blow up in your face. So we had two negative, neutral. They're not negative. There's neutral check-ins. We, as I mentioned before, we had an open relationship. And our third neutral check-in was a friend's wedding. And I went to my friend's wedding, and he couldn't come with me. And as I come back from, and the wedding was glorious, great friend, friend that I love dearly, love dearly, and it was a glorious event. The typical wedding that you think, I wouldn't mind getting married. But not only that, you're just so happy that they exist, that this moment exists, that love exists, and it looks like this. One of those weddings. So I come back from the event. It was out of town. It was a long weekend, and I come back, and it's on Monday morning. And Sunday on my way back, I'd been thinking through, it's a pity, it's a pity Mr. X couldn't be there with me. It's a pity he missed this event. Beautiful event that I would have loved to have shared with him, and he wasn't there. So Monday morning arrives, and we were set to have breakfast together on Monday morning. And he comes home. I have, the coffee ready and some things for breakfast ready. And he starts asking me, how was the wedding? How was it? Tell me everything. And I start telling him, the music, the details, all the little details that my friend had thought about to make all the invitees feel special as to why we were a part of their lives. And it was just beautiful, beautiful. And I told him, but you know what? I was just really sad that you weren't there. I was really sad that you weren't there. And he said, I know, and I wish I could have been there, and I wish I would have been present, and I would have been able to share that with you. I said, I know, I know, we've had this, we've been here before. And I told him, I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't think I can do this anymore, because all these important moments that come and go, some are tragic and some are not so tragic. You won't be able to be there. You can't be there. And I understand you can't be there, but you can't be there. It's like, I know. And I was, by this point, I'm crying and it's heartbroken. The fact that I'm even saying these things to him. And he said, did you meet someone at the wedding? Because this is a bit of a drastic change. And I told him, no, I did not meet someone at the wedding. I did see a friend that I hadn't seen in a long time, but all that did was to reinstate the fact that I could be with someone that is actually more available than what we have right now. But no, I didn't meet someone. I wasn't with anyone. Are you sure? I said, no, I am sure I didn't. But as I was telling him, as we were just being real about the fact that this is now the third check-in of the situation that we cannot change. cannot change the fact that he's a father. I cannot change the fact that his kids are small. And I cannot change the fact that that responsibility is the most important responsibility he has right now. Those are factors that I cannot change. But also, those are the factors that limit our garden. Our garden, which could have expanded into a massive territory, had to be limited to a 2x2 space. And that wasn't enough for me anymore. Just wasn't. It was constricting me from fully expressing all the love that I had to give him and all that I wanted to do with him. It just wasn't enough anymore. So to say someone who you love dearly, dearly, with whom you have a glorious garden, a gorgeous, flourishing garden, that you no longer can be in that garden while all you see is life, is really difficult, because you're making that decision based on knowing yourself, knowing your diamond and what it needs to thrive, knowing the dynamics and the circumstances that you need to thrive, and actually knowing that if we remain there with these limiting circumstances, neither of us will thrive, and what is flourishing now will not be flourishing. Maybe not in 2 months' time, but maybe in a year for sure. It will start to dwindle because there's no place for it to grow and expand. So sitting in bed, talking about the wedding, talking about how I missed him there, talking about how we can't go on, we decided to end it. He simply agreed that the terms in which we wanted to, or why we wanted to end it, just seemed reasonable. We knew this was coming. We didn't know when, but we knew this was possibly coming. Maybe we expected it earlier, or maybe we expected it much later into the future, but we knew it was coming. But knowing it was coming did not make it any easier. Leaving something that's glorious and beautiful and it's life-giving to you at that moment in time, it's not any easier. It's that foresight. You see the things creeping in that are going to limit this beauty and that are going to turn this into a place that's toxic or full of bitterness. So that was my situation with Mr. X. And from there, we charted out a plan of, okay, we're going to end it. By that evening, I had decided, okay, if we're going to end it, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. It's going to be too difficult to be here if I can't be with you, if I don't have this with me. I need space. So I'm just going to go see my family. I mean, just go and find a plane ticket and leave. My work's remote, so I can just get my laptop and go. And I was set to go. I just wanted to go, and I didn't have plans or dates yet. But by that evening, I had bought a plane ticket, and this was not a good financial time for me to just decide to get up and go. It required all loads and sorts of sacrifice from many different places to make this possible. I decided not only to leave the relationship, but I also decided to leave my flat. I decided to leave my friends during the season, and I decided to leave my country for a season, and not knowing when I was coming back. I just left it all. For me, this was so gut-wrenching to leave beauty and to leave love and to leave a home and a nest that I needed to get as much space from it as possible. So I bought a plane ticket, and that plane ticket maybe gave us, I think it was about 5 weeks time from that conversation to when I had to leave. And in that time, settling the apartment, leaving things with friends, selling other things, giving some things to him to take to his house, was a huge undertaking. But the biggest undertaking was our undertaking of, we want to leave as best as possible. We want to leave still loving each other. I remember the last time we made love and how that was and how we held and how we touched each other and how we wanted to leave with that sensation, not with anger, resentment, or hurt, or just negative emotions. No, we wanted to leave our garden, to leave our mental picture of our garden like that, in its high point and its exuberance, not in some other twisted or declining state. That's what we wanted. And we worked hard to do that. It did not mean that I did not look like shit to everyone else, nor that I did not just fall apart when I left him. But we did our hardest to leave that as best as possible. And he drove me to the airport that day that I flew away. And it was a dramatic Hollywood scene. Not in the sense of, but you've seen these movies, I've seen them. The guy leaves the girl at the airport and you're wishing they'd come back for you. And you turn around and they still see it. But he drops me off at the airport and we give each other a hug and a kiss outside of the car. And as I just go into the airport with my carry-on and a shoulder bag, I'm a minimalist. And I just walk through the doors when he can't see me anymore and I just start sobbing. Sobbing. It felt like I had been amputated. It's like, why? Why is this happening? Why does it have to be this way? These moments, saying goodbye, is the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing. And we will have to say goodbye. Either someone we love dies, or the relationship can't go on for whatever means, for whatever reason. But it's so hard. And it's really hard when it's beautiful and you still feel all of that goodness inside of you and you can't understand why there isn't another workaround. And it's really ugly and painful when that's gone and all you see is gray and swampland. But we leave, and we must leave sometimes in order to remain, in order to have a life, in order to have something else, in order to keep something beautiful, something, the only thing you can go do is to separate yourself from it. Saying goodbye is the hardest thing. There's no way around it. The only thing I can suggest to you are a couple reminders of just being courageous to actually walk away when you need to, because every day that you stay in a situation that is not good for you is a day that you're subtracting from the life that you want to have. So some reminders for you. Stay with the good. Stay with the good. I don't care if we were together 3 months. I don't care if we were together 3 years, or if we were together 30 years. Something good happened in that time. Stay with that. Stay with that. Let your memories be as positive as possible so that you can take it with you and just stay with the good. Forgive, let go, let the layer of that experience just pass through you. Clearly it shapes you. Of course, you're human. It shapes your body. Emotions get stuck in the body. It shapes your personality because now you smile more, you smile less during our season. It shapes you, but just let it pass through. You forgive and stay with the good. Secondly, legacy and brand. I'm still friends with Mr. X. Mr. X, no one, I don't know if no one, but Mr. X speaks so highly of me to people. So highly of me. I can only speak highly of Mr. X. He was not a perfect human being, but he was a good man. He was a good man and he was a good partner. I can only speak highly of Mr. X. And clearly, obviously, when we're saying goodbye, we're not always saying goodbye in good terms. But think of your legacy. Think of your brand. Yeah, like you're a company. Think of your brand. What do you want your exes to say about you? Consider that. You want them to say as the best things possible. You don't want people bad talking about you, bad mouthing you. You don't want that energy. So consider that as you leave these relationships. Remember the sneaker? Make life easy. My transition was complex within the context of my life at that moment in time. Yours has different complexity. And if there are kids involved and pets and properties, more complexity. But make it as easy as possible. Separate the emotional stuff from just the logistics. There's a house. Whose is it? Where are the costs? Let's separate. Let's make it as easy as possible. As easy as possible for both of you. For both of you. Easy. Make it easy. Make the logistics easy. The kids, the pets, the friends, the money. Make it easy and respectful. Don't use kids as a negotiating chip. Please, that's not fair. Don't use pets for that. Don't do that with your friends either. These are people that are in your life and want to continue to be in your life. Let's make it easy. Let's be adults. If you have mutual friends, it's understandable that both sets of friends or the friends might need some time in order to be able to engage with you all because of whatever the circumstances might have been. But let's be easy. Let's be adults. And that requires some self-management of my emotions, of my pride, of my ego. Remember, the ego, that other layer, the ego is only interested in self-preservation, whatever that means at that moment in time. It's not necessarily always standard. It's whatever it means at that moment in time. But that self-preservation can sometimes be detrimental to you. So self-management, manage your junk to make the most logical decisions possible in order to navigate these waters as best as possible. Remember, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. This is it's difficult. It's really difficult. It might have sounded light, it might have sounded trite, I don't know how you received it, but I can assure you it was the most difficult thing I've had to do to date in my life. And saying goodbye prior to that one, all my goodbyes have been difficult. Saying goodbye is difficult. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's growth at the end of the tunnel. There's a new you at the end of the tunnel because it changes you. You learn about yourself. You take there's new aspects of your personality that you perceive that shine through because of going through this transit. There's light. Hang on. Love doesn't end. Love doesn't end. Passion can if you don't take care of it. Love does not end. Just because we've cut our ties for whatever reason, if there was love, love will continue to exist. Love does not end. Hold on to that. See you tomorrow.